give me the rhythm, cause I've got a feeling champion song.
So welcome back to the channel, fam. Hi, I'm Alita and I read cards. Okay, so we're going to be using my daughter's deck today. I did a little flip through of it earlier, the body tarot. We are going to use this deck, and ironically enough, the topic that I chose today was guided by what the deck told my daughter in the interview. Okay, today's reading is going to be how do you differ from your mother and how do you differ from your father? And I'm going to do 2 cards separately for each. Why do I feel like that's ironic concerning the deck? Because the deck is non-binary and does not include reproductive organs, okay? But in all reality, we all are here because of our parents' reproductive organs, okay? And not to be a diss to the deck, because like I said, I love the deck. I understand it. That's what's up. But when we asked the deck what type of work it wanted to do, it kept throwing out family cards. And its most favorite and least favorite cards had to do with family issues, okay? So we are going to christen this deck with a family read, okay? I'm going to do 2 cards for how you differ from your mother and 2 cards for how you differ from your father, which means it's going to be a 4-card reading. I'm going to tilt the camera down and we'll get to dealing. Okay, so let me start doing my card. If you hear a bunch of noise in the background, it's because today I have my children cleaning. I know you all know everything that we went through a couple years ago, and I'm going to be honest with you. This house has become a depression house, okay? We just have acquired so many things. There hasn't been a lot of cleaning going on, and it needs to happen, okay? So you hear garbage bags or arguing in the background, or mom, what I do with this, and I have to stop it, you'll know why, okay? It's just because right now we gotta clean up. We gotta get it cleaned up, okay? So I kind of figured maybe if we do this, maybe this will help you clean up emotionally, spiritually, okay, mentally, all right? Because sometimes just realizing how you differ from the people that you came from is an encouragement to keep going, okay? And sometimes it's a message of what you need to work on, because maybe your mother or your father had some good traits and you just don't have them, and the card's just trying to point out to you that you need to have them, okay? But either way, we're going to do it. We're going to do both parents. I was going to do them separately, but then I thought, shit, you're only here because the 2 parents came together, so let's do it. All right, I'm going to do 4 groups. I'm going to do the mother first, the father second. Meet me on the other side once I have your groups. Okay, guys, so here are your 4 groups. I am going to be playing with you guys too. I'm going to go with group 3, but here's your groups. Group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. I want to thank everyone that has subscribed to this channel thus far. You guys are the GOATs. If you find yourself watching this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel as of yet, I ask the same question every video, fam. Why the fuck not? It's free, it's fun, and we getting facts. And today we getting family facts. So what's up with that? Let's do this. Everybody, say hello to my little froggy friend. I know back in the day I made you guys say hello to him, and that was years ago, but he's back out in front since we had the green theme going on again. So say hi to Cokie. Hi, Cokie. All right, so I'm going to put these to the side in case we need to clarify, which I kind of have a feeling already we might need to clarify. I'm going to move the additional groups over to the side, and let's get started with group number 1. Okay, so group number 1, how do you differ from your mother? Okay, so I have you as the arteries or the high priestess. This is interesting because I have you as both fire, okay, both wands, and I have you as triumph. Okay, so how do you differ from your mother? Okay, okay, so whereas your mother may have been drowned in the mysteries of life, the mysteries of herself, okay, the mysteries of the world, you have found triumph in it. For some of you also, it could very well be things like metaphysical gifts. Maybe your mother had psychic abilities, or could hear or see the dead or any of those things. And whereas she may have struggled, you do not. Okay, you find victory in these things. So to me, in a way, it kind of seems like with the arteries tying everything together, and then we see ties, to me it kind of feels like you may have broken karmic ties that your mother was unable to do. Breaking family curses, these types of things. This is what these two cards are saying to me. This is how you differ from your mother. Okay. Now, how do you differ from your father? We have temperance, right, which is healing or the spleen. And we have the Seven of Metal, which is the Seven of Pentacles, which is resolution. Now, I want to remind you guys that the Seven of Pentacles is usually someone that is tending to a field, that is sowing seed and waiting for it to produce, right? And temperance often has to do with being patient, but also waiting. So both of these cards are telling me that your father was not that patient of a person. Your father may have also been toxic, because we have healing here. And your father may have been somewhat argumentative and frustrated, because your father just couldn't find the solution to things. He couldn't find the middle ground, okay? Whereas for you, I see you as learning how to be patient, learning how to care for things, learning how to take your time to see the best product possible. So group number one, I really see you as the type of person that is absolutely breaking family trauma, family curses, things like this, okay? All the way around concerning both of your parents. But in particular, with your father, though, I definitely seeing you learning how to be patient where they weren't. Okay. I am really getting the picture of your father being maybe argumentative, maybe verbally or physically abusive. And I see you as not only healing yourself, but finding yourself in a position to help others heal. Okay. So whereas your father was injured and took his injuries and put it on to the family or friends or other people, you took your injuries, healed, and turned it into healing for others, okay? And that is how you differ from your father. So now you know how you differ from both your mother and your father, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this reading, group one. My little health workers, I like you guys. I had that path too. It's really hard. I just want to encourage you. I just want to tell you to hang in there and do whatever it is that you can do, okay? Because if everyone took a moment to take better care of themselves and to see themselves in a better position, society would be in a better position, okay? So you keep doing the hard work that no one else wants to do, all right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below, good and or bad. And let's move right on into group number two. All right, so group number two. How do you differ from your mother? Let's find out. Let's see you. Wow, y'all's mothers must be really fiery, because every time I pull for your mother so far, I'm getting fire. Okay, so we have Two of Fire, which is Two of Wands, and we have Irritation, which is the Five of Wands. Okay, now group two, you're a group of hotheads. Okay, but I understand why you're hot-headed, okay? But we do need to work on it. The way that you differ from your mother is because you find yourself needing to be in control. You need to be dominant because you were not in control in maybe one big incident growing up, but I'm guessing probably multiple, okay? In affairs of the heart, arguments, violence. and you're very irritated. And I believe that your mother was actually passive. What I'm getting from this is that maybe you look at your mother as if like she was a pushover. Okay, maybe she allowed a lot of things to happen to her and possibly to happen to you too, because she didn't assert herself. She never found her fire. She never found her power. But you did. But now listen, honey. Flames that burn too bright burn out too fast. Okay? So, I don't quite know how I want to tell you to do that, but you definitely do need to work on your fire. It's too much fire. Maybe you want to work on understanding that you don't have control over anyone or anyone's actions but your own. At the end of the day, people will do a lot of things to you, right? And you can't control if they decide to do those things to you, but you can control your response, okay? And I think that the issue is that your mother had no response. And that was wrong as well. This is where it comes in, you know, when you hear people like me talking about the gray or walking the gray path. This is a universe of balance, and you need to learn how to walk between the light and the dark. You don't want to be totally in the light, and you don't want to be totally in the dark, because both of those can allow you to either be abused or to become an abuser, okay? So you want to keep this in mind, all right? Now let's look at how you differ from your father, okay? So I have you as connection, which is the Two of Swords, and inspiration, right? Which is the Ace of Wands, okay? So I definitely have you as a communicator. I definitely have you telling it like it is, okay? I definitely feel like when you get with other people and they have problems, you don't have any problem giving the solution. You don't have any problem with telling people exactly how you feel about their inactivity. This is also a group where I feel, you know, it's kind of funny because I feel like both of your parents might have been very passive, but I feel like your father in particular may have been disconnected or aloof. Cold even. You may have assumed it as cold because I have you as the Ace of Fire. I feel like both of your parents may have been passive, and they may have just let a lot of things just happen or go by. And it seems to me as if in this one, okay, so if your father was there and present, and I don't just mean physically, I mean emotionally, socially, okay? If your father was present, I'm so sure by looking at these cards, he was not present in other relationships in his life. But in particular, a lot of you, this is a situation where your father may not have been around. He may not have been on the set altogether. Okay, and most likely because I want to call it laziness, but I think that might be very dismissive. It kind of looks like your father may not have known how to keep connections together. And have you ever had a friend and you said you were going to call them, right? Oh, I'm going to call you back. And you don't call them for a day. And then a day turns into a week. And then a week turns into a month. And then a month turns into a year. And sometimes that year turns into years. And then when you reconnect with them, right, and they're like, you know, you just disappeared from my life. They're real upset with you. And you're like, there's no love lost. You know, I still love you the same. I don't know what happened. I just kind of let myself get caught up. And often what happens is once we realize that we didn't reach back out, we feel guilty. We know that when we do reach back out, it's going to be a big hassle. And so we stay away even longer until we can't stay away from these people, because at the end of the day, the connection still lies there. Okay. I kind of get that energy from your father. And I'm just going to leave it at that. You, on the other hand, believe in connections, and you keep the spark going between all of your connections, right? Family, friends, lovers, maybe even ex-lovers in this group, which I don't think is a good thing to do, but you do you, boo. Yeah, I think that you differ from your father because you are inspired to keep your connections going, and your father dropped the ball on that. Okay. All right, is that going to be it? Okay, that's going to be it. Whew, Lord, that was a mouthful. I didn't really want to offend anyone or trigger anyone on this one, okay? Because what I'm seeing is quite triggering. But what I do want to say to group 2 before I let you all go is it's a little bit too much fire, okay? You need to work on cooling the temperature down, okay? Slowing the pace in your life, all right? And I'm just going to say that, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below, good and or bad. And let's move right on into group number 3. So group number 3, how do you differ from your mother? Let's start off. Let's do it now. We have the Hanged Man, sacrifice. And we have the world, right? Completion and the skin. Okay. So group 3. You're my sensitive crew. Okay? And not only are you my sensitive crew, you're my crew that likes to work with people, okay? You like to go out of your way to help other people see things be completed, okay? What I take from that says to me that your mother might have been very selfish in making sure that she got her own task completed, okay? And everyone else is responsible for doing their own shit. And I feel like sometimes you got left out because there was things that you needed to get done and you needed her help. And you did not get it. Okay, and so what happened is when you grew up, you found yourself going out of your way, right, to help people complete their task. So much so that you sacrifice your own task, okay? I can tell that this whole reading is going to be about finding the gray path, okay? I'm sorry that you had to deal with a mother that's self-centered, okay? Now, I don't necessarily feel like your mother is so selfish that she didn't care for you, because here you are coming out as 2 major arcana, okay? And I don't think that you could be the world without your mother imparting some of the world in you, okay? But what I do feel like is I feel like your mother allowed you to feel left out. Sometimes I even feel like maybe your mother might have been more concerned with the outer world than what was going on in the inner world, meaning everyone else except for her inner family, okay? And you are not that person. But at the same time, you cannot sacrifice yourself for the world. You just can't. Okay, you can make sacrifices. You can look out for the world, but you need to look out for self as well. Okay, there needs to be a healthy balance, and you need to really be on the side of looking out for yourself. Okay, in my opinion, looking out for the world and creating your balance could very well be met in just taking very good care of your children and family members. So keep that in mind. Okay, keep that in mind. Take care of your friends and family members, but take care of yourself, group 3, because you really need it, okay? And how do you differ from your father, okay? So I have celebration and I have movement for you, okay? So I see you as the type of person that likes to have a good time. Maybe you like to go places. Maybe in particular you like to dance. I also see you as the type of person that is willing to walk away from a failing relationship. I want you guys to realize we have the 4 of Wands here, which represents marriage, and we have the 8 of Cups, which means walking away. What that says to me is that maybe we looked up here and we saw your mother as being self-centered and sometimes selfish. Maybe you felt like your father was selfless, okay? I kind of feel like this path up here that you're walking is very similar to the path down here that your father may have walked, except for you, my dears, have learned how to walk away, okay? You have mastered that, because although you may give sacrifices and you may be worried about the world, you're not so caught up in it that you allow others to abuse you. Although I did say we need to worry about abusing ourselves, but you don't allow others to abuse you, okay? I feel like your father may have allowed others to abuse him and you didn't like that, okay? And so you were like, as soon as I feel like somebody's trying to abuse me or abuse what I'm giving them, I'm out the door, okay? But what that is also telling me is it may have turned you into a runner, a track star, okay? And maybe sometimes what you perceive as being abuse isn't quite abuse. Okay, now, disclaimer, I am not excusing abuse, but I'll give you an example, okay? As a child, right, there were times when my parents just disagreed, okay? Like, I don't, or I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't want it done like that. My dad's like, okay. He kind of took that role. Okay, whatever. And he still may not have done it, but, he took the okay route, instead of arguing with my mother about what she was arguing about. And as a child, to me, it looked god awful. Okay? It looked so horrible. All right? As an adult, not so much. What it looked like to me as an adult is that my mother was demanding, and my father didn't necessarily believe that he needed to argue with her. You see what I'm saying? If he was going to take care of it, he was going to take care of it. And he really didn't want to get her any more upset than she was. And that was the happy medium for him. But to me, that looked like crap. And as an adult, it doesn't. It just looks like that's how they worked. Because at the end of the day, they stayed together. They were happy together. Who was I to know the difference? I was just a kid. I'd never been in a relationship before, It's definitely not a serious relationship. But as an adult, I understand better. Okay, so I say that to say this. Don't find yourself walking away from your blessings. Okay, we have celebration and movement. Don't find yourself walking around and walking away from the beautiful things that were placed in front of you just because there's some difficulty, okay? There is difficulty in all things, especially in the great things that come to us, okay? But that is how you differ from your father, because I think your father doesn't necessarily know how to walk away when he needs to, but I'm worried that maybe you sometimes walk away when you shouldn't. All right? Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video or this reading group 3. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below, good and or bad. And let's get into our final group, which is group number 4. Hopefully this won't cut off on me before I finish. You know what? I'm going to stop and restart. All right, group 4. So you want to know, how do you differ from your mother? And then your father, but let's start with your mother. How do you differ from your mother? I have you as the 9 of Cups, right? Manifestation. And the Chariot, success. Okay. How do you differ from your mother, okay? Which is the eye. We have the eye here. I think you have your eyes on the prize. I think that you know what you want, and I think that you can believe that you can make it happen. And I believe that you have. And I believe that maybe your mother had a lot of dreams. She had a lot of desires, but she didn't know how to make it happen. She didn't know how to get out there. She just didn't know what to do, and she didn't find herself very successful. I feel like group 4, this is one of them, you know, one of these that I see that I actually feel like you took what your mother had and you moved it to a positive. You saw your mother had dreams, you saw she had wants, and she didn't know how to make it happen, and you watched her and you learned how to make it happen, okay? You learned how to visualize. This is a group that probably started off manifesting with vision boards, okay? And I'm not hating, okay, because it works for you, all right? But that is where the two of you differ. Whereas she might have had the grand ideas, she didn't know how to bring it into fruition, and you do, all right? And how do you differ from your father, okay? We have the 10 of Wands, which is burnout, and the 4 of Earth, which is greed. Okay. You know, group 4, y'all are really elevated, and I like that. Look at the balance on the board. We have blue, green, yellow, and red. Look at that. I can't really give you guys a lecture like I have everyone else, because it seems like you've kind of figured it out. How do you differ from your father? Oh no. Hold on, let me check. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. Are they burnt out and grieving? Yes. Well, goddamn. I was wrong. You didn't take your lessons from your father too well. and your parental lessons are blending together. Okay. I have you as burnt out and greedy, which says to me that even though you know how to manifest and bring things into you, you don't know how to stop. You don't know how to rest. You don't know how to breathe. You are not enjoying what you're manifesting because you're constantly fucking chasing. Okay. This is a chasing the dragon group. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So I have your father as possibly being lazy and broke, but happy. But happy. And I don't think you like that. And I think your mother wanted more and she just couldn't make it happen. And now we have you that can make it happen. And you know that you can make it happen, but then you're like constantly pushing for more. What is the point in having a beautiful car if you don't have time to drive it? What is the point of having a beautiful home if you don't have time to rest and relax in it? What is the point in going on all these trips around the world and all you're doing when you're there is working? You see what I'm saying? And I mean that in the sense of, listen to this. I get on people about this all the time and they hate me for it, but this is so real. You spend thousands of dollars on a vacation. You get to the vacation and you have a fucking itinerary that is booked from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening. We got to go this. We got to go do that. We got to see this. What the fuck? Is this a job now? Like, you're there to enjoy the city. Sure. Schedule a few things that you want to do if you need to have a structured vacation. I understand that some people do not flourish in chaos, okay? Some people cannot just wing it and some people need itineraries. I get that. But to go to another country and to have a rock solid itinerary of all the many different places that you go to, by the time you've traveled, gotten to your destination, you're sleeping in some place that isn't your own home, you're living out of a suitcase, and then you have an itinerary where you're going to this place, that place, and the other place, and then if you don't meet the itinerary, you get stressed the fuck out. When you go home, you need a fucking vacation from your fucking vacation, and don't tell me that you don't, because I know you people. I know y'all, okay? I grew up around them. I lived with some of them before. I know what it is. You come home from the vacation and you're more tired than you were before you went on the vacation, because you also had to get your shit together before you could go to the vacation, right? You had to get the house clean. You had to pack up. You had to shop and get the things that you needed. You know what I'm saying? You had to make sure you had your documentation together and all that. And then you go to the fucking vacation and you stress yourself out while you're on the vacation. This is you. This is you. And I know you're like that because you feel like your father was shiftless and he didn't get anything done. Okay? But the truth is your father was happy, whereas you are not. You're the person that we talk about that has it all and still is not happy. You know, like when people be like, $1 million will change my life. It will make me happy. And wise people are like, there are billionaires and most of them are not happy. But you can't hear that because all you see is the material that you're getting from it. Okay, listen, slow down. Just take a breather. Just slow down and take a breather. Here's the truth. You could amass all the world's wealth and you could lose it tomorrow. Okay? But if you taught yourself how to love yourself and be happy and learn how to make the best out of any situation, your happiness would never leave for long. It will only leave temporarily, because you will find it again, because you have learned how to base your happiness on yourself and what you can do. All right? Work on it. Think on it. Breathe on it. Okay? But honestly, though, I think you guys are pretty evolved. I feel like you guys really are pretty evolved. And I feel like now that I'm looking at it, it's because you're such a great manifester. It's like your future in a way is already balanced, even though it isn't. But once the thought is set, that's what it is. It exists, right? So manifest some peace, right? Manifest some satisfaction. Sit back and look at what you've gained and amassed and be proud of it. Not because of the belongings, but because you did it. Okay? Don't be greedy. And I pass along a message that was passed along to me. You're going to get a charity test soon. Don't get stuck in it. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this reading group 4. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below, good and or bad. And that's going to conclude today's readings. I hope everyone enjoyed this reading. I really enjoyed doing it for you. I really enjoyed the fact that my daughter let me use her deck. It was perfect for this reading, guys. And maybe the next one I do will be, how are you the same as your mother and father? Okay? So I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you next time.